have some limits, starts to have some conditions. Are you starting to get it? Israel says, we're worried that in 10 years, we're not going to get another deal because of how much people are turning on Israel in Washington and in America. This is why they're buying the media. This is why Larry Ellison bought TikTok. It's why Barry Weiss is the head of CBS. That's why David Ellison bought CBS for his media company.
Record back from the video. Got some more Nick Fuentes clips for you guys today. First clip I got for you guys is Nick talking about how Americans are turning on Israel, which we've been seeing the last couple months. Maybe the last couple over a year actually. We've been seeing a lot of people not messing with Israel. After we see Trump backing them up. Trump's in bed with Netanyahu. And then we see with Israel. You can't criticize Israel. You can't criticize the Jews. You can't say anything about them. So this is why a lot of Americans, including myself, are turning against Israel. And then we also got Nick talking about Ben Shapiro going off on them, saying that he's not America first, which we already know, And yeah, Nick just goes off on him, and again goes off on Israel and saying how they're corrupt and a lot of bad stuff's going on over there. So I'll ask if you guys like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the video. Helps me out, helps the channel, helps me push these videos out, And Nick's live Monday through Friday on Rumble. I'll link it down below in the description. Everyone have a good one. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy Nick.
Now, when in the United States, you have people at the colleges saying, we don't like giving all this money to Israel, that's a big problem. Because those people that are working at Heritage Foundation, working or in college at Harvard or Yale or Columbia, they're in a congressional office. These people are going to become the political class, and their voice is amplified in the political system. And if you have enough of those people, then that unconditional, unlimited partnership that the U.S. has with Israel starts to have some limits, starts to have some conditions. Are you starting to get it? Israel says, we're worried that in 10 years, we're not going to get another deal because of how much people are turning on Israel in Washington and in America. This is why they're buying the media. This is why Larry Ellison bought TikTok. It's why Barry Weiss is the head of CBS. That's why David Ellison bought CBS for his media company. This is why Heritage and all these college Republican groups are looking for the Groypers. And that's all Shapiro and Josh Hammer and Lonsdale and McGuire and Alex Karp. That's all these people really care about. It is about Israel. They say it's about everything else. They say, oh, it's about his rhetoric. It's about Nick Fuentes being a Nazi. It's about Western civilization. They say it's about everything else. But for them, it's only about this. Israel is coming to us looking for more money, which they require. Their military is dependent on the foreign aid. And they know that if the political climate in America is skeptical or critical of the U.S.-Israel relationship, they can't count on the money. Now, what are they doing in response to it? Well, they're using the Trump administration. The Trump administration is their vehicle. They're using it like it's an extension of the Israeli state. Think about it. What they're effectively saying is, oy vey, the goyim know, in 10 years, no one can stop the noticing. They're saying in 10 years, there's going to be so much noticing that Congress will not give us more money. So we need to get as much money as we can now. We need a 20-year deal so that we can bypass that future vote. We want a 10-year deal, and we want to extend it 10 years after that already, because we don't think we'll get it in 2038. They see the Trump administration before the midterms as the last opportunity to get $80 billion from the U.S. taxpayer. And Trump is going to give it to him. Trump is going to give it to him. But the House of Representatives has the power of the purse. The House of Representatives, all appropriations, all spending bills have to originate in the House. And the Republican majority is a little slim there. It's looking a little slim. Republicans have a majority of what, a handful of votes? So what happens if, let's say, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, Lauren Boebert, What happens if even just a handful of Republicans say they're not going to vote for more foreign aid for Israel? You can't get your 20-year deal. Now do you see why they're so mad at Marjorie Greene? Now do you see why they're so mad at Thomas Massie? Now do you see why Miriam Adelson is arranging $20 million to be spent in Thomas Massie's primary in the midterm elections next year? Now do you see why AIPAC arranged $100 million in spending in the previous cycle to unseat progressive Democrats that would vote against foreign aid to Israel? Now do you get it? Understand? And this is, by the way, why we call it organized. Because it's organized. Larry Ellison this is how they operate. This is how they maintain control. They find the bottlenecks, they find the choke points in the elite institutions, and they focus their money, position, and resources to squash dissent, create chilling effects so that other people are afraid to step out of line. And this is how they drag a country to war. This is how they get a bankrupt country to promise to give them $4 billion a year for 20 years. That's how they do it. That's how they've always done it. And that's all these people like Josh Hammer and Shapiro and Levin and Loomer and the rest of them, that's all they care about. They don't want people to think these things. They don't want people to hear these things, say these things, organize on the basis of them. They don't want people that think these things in positions of power, because they know that the more that happens, the less money Israel's going to get. And Israel needs that money because they want to expand their borders. And they have a lot of enemies that they cannot fight by themselves. That's the grand irony. Shapiro says, if you can't afford to live in the city you're born in, well, live somewhere else. If Israel can't afford to fight its own wars, we have to send them $20 billion immediately. Really? And this is where people are getting pissed off, because that's bullshit. Americans are being told, if you can't afford groceries, if you can't afford your house, get a 50-year mortgage. I don't know, get a debt contract with the bank for half of a century. You can't afford to live in the city your ancestors are buried in. I don't know, go work on an oil rig or something. Oh, Israel can't afford to fight its millions of enemies that they created to make their country bigger? Oh, we'll send them the missiles they need, $20 billion immediately. Really? You with your Israeli wife? Are you kidding me? And that's all they care about. This punk, Ben Shapiro, look at what a spiteful mutant he is. Look at what a spiteful little creature he is. He looks wicked. He looks in his face wicked. He's got his big giant hat on, and he sits there and he says, you can never retire, Goyim. Just get a 50-year mortgage. Go move somewhere else. Our country's broke. Our future was mortgaged. We're debt slaves to the government and BlackRock. If we can't afford it, get lost. Fuck off. If Israel can't afford the wars that they themselves start, Shapiro says what? We have to bail them out? We have to defend them? We have to give them our money? Why don't you go and live there? You didn't even marry an American. You don't have American kids. You don't have an American wife. What's stopping you? What are you even doing here? Get lost. This country's for Americans. The tax dollars are for Americans. The government is for Americans. Everything you see here, this is for us. This is our country. And Trump is being used to thwart it. As long as Trump is America last, I'm not with Trump. And these guys like Shabbos Kestenbaum and Mark Levin and Randy Fine, they want to hide behind Trump and say, you're not MAGA. You're right. As long as MAGA puts America last, to hell with Trump. I don't want him. As long as Trump is with those guys, you can keep him. If Trump is with Randy Fine and Lindsey Graham and Ben Shapiro and fucking Psycho Loomer and Mark Levin, you can have him. If that's what MAGA is, you can keep it. We want America first. We want America first. We want Tucker. We want Candace. We want Fuentes. We want Brett Cooper. We want Marjorie Greene, Thomas Massie. We want America first. That's the new movement. You can have Trump. You can have Shapiro. You can keep all that shit. We're done with that. And they lie through their teeth. Josh Hammer, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, they're aggressive, they're dishonest, they're contemptuous. They have disdain for us. They're dripping with it. We can feel it. And they seem to have all the cards. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it doesn't feel that way. And they know it. They brag about it. We saw that display last week when the Republican Jewish coalition got together and Mark Levin said, we're taking names. We're going to see who disassociates from who, and we'll make our decisions. This isn't going to fly. We're tired of having to answer to you people. That's what they say. So there's this feeling that these malicious liars who are deeply unpopular, who have contempt for us, they hold all the cards. It doesn't matter how much the people don't like this and don't like them, who they vote for, what they do. They go back in their huddle and they make the decisions for the country. You call it out, they lie about you further, and then they get together and decide how they're going to ruin your life and ruin your career. They gang up on you. They use their money, their position, their influence. They gang up on somebody and they make it hurt. Oh, you talked to Nick Fuentes? Well, it just so happens that so-and-so runs your talent agency. Now we're going to drop you. Oh, and so-and-so is producing the movie, so we're going to make some calls because you talked to the wrong person. Then you had today at the, I'm not making this up. You can call me a gifted rhetorician. This is a fact. Ronald Lauder, the billionaire heir to the Estee Lauder fortune, he is the chair of the World Jewish Congress. The World Jewish Congress. This is like how for decades liberals insisted that it was racist to say colored people, but not to say people of color, right? Because if I talk about world Jewry, I'm a vile anti-Semite. But when a billionaire Jew speaks at the World Jewish Congress, well, that's just totally normal, guys. Presenting Ronald Lauder, president of the World Jewish Congress. Thank you, great to be here. That's fine. But if I say world Jewry, oy vey, that's not real. That's an anti-Semitic trope. That's what it's called. You have an organization, it's what it's called. If I call it organized Jewry, I'm an anti-Semite. But if you go to the Conference of Major American Jewish Organizations, what is that even? If I call it world Jewry, anti-Semite, that's a trope. You're a hateful person, you're a neo-Nazi. But then they go to the World Jewish Congress and they're all applauding. Thank you. We're bringing together the 50th World Jewish Congress. How are we going to help our people in Israel? Like, what? So anyway, that's just for openers. Ronald Lauder is speaking at the World Jewish Congress and says, you can look up the clip. It's on Twitter. He says, we need to pass laws against anti-Semitism because people are saying that we control the government. Okay, so do we hear ourselves? Do we hear what we're saying here? So one of the richest billionaires in the world who is Jewish chairs the World Jewish Congress. He got up before an audience of all powerful Jews, billionaires from all different countries, and said, people are talking about world Jewry and how Jews control the government. We must pass laws to stop them from saying this. Okay, so are we hearing the same thing? Did you hear it that time? Like the gaslighting. This is what we're talking about. It's so overt. It's so brazen. It's so in your face. And to speak in these terms about Jewry, organized Jewry, global Jewry, they say is anti-Semitic. To say they run the media, they punish you by firing you in the media. Jews run Hollywood. Really? Well, that person that interviewed you just got dropped by her talent agency and she's out of the film industry forever. Like, what? They're saying we run the government. Call the congressman and tell them to ban them from saying that. And then they say, why is Nick Fuentes popular? It's because disillusioned young men don't have jobs. It's because you're lying. You're lying. Like, I'm right and you're lying. That's why I'm more popular than even those people that are criticizing Israel. Because to say it's about Zionism or about a genocide is really just not even the whole picture here. So Dasha Nekrasova got fired by Hollywood for hosting an anti-Semitic person that says Jews run Hollywood. Insane. But we all know this is how it goes.
You know, it's just facts, you know, and this is why they hate Nick so much, you know. He brings up the truth when it comes to Israel, you know, he exposes these people, the billionaires, the people that are funding the Republicans and the Democrats, and that's why he's America first. And then like Ben Shapiro over here, the little short midget that wants to talk so much shit about Nick, you know, it's ridiculous, you know. It's like Nick said, if you don't like it here, go back to Israel, bro. He has Israeli kids and a wife. Go over there. I'm sure you'll be better off over there. Stop trying to dictate how Americans live. You go over there and do what you do, you know. And then when it comes to Trump, you know, if you guys saw what Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, he's not talking about her no more, and it's for a reason, you know. It's because she doesn't want to vote and give foreign aid to Israel, you know. Why do we have to give foreign aid to Israel while we got veterans sitting on the side of the streets homeless? We got homelessness. Why can't we clean up the homelessness? And it's just a lot of stuff, you know. But instead of doing all that for Israel, we could be helping our own infrastructure in America, you know. It just doesn't make no sense. But if you guys like this, like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the video. Helps me out, helps the channel out, you know, push more Nick Fuentes clips. Nick's live Monday through Friday on Rumble, link it down below in the description. Everyone have a good one, and this is P Record, out.